This is day 650, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This week's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is sponsored for success in business endeavors for Yonatan Ezra ben Chana Feigel. You should be zeicher to much hatzlacha. Chala sheyifneh yatzliach. If you like to sponsor upcoming Shir Mar Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please call me directly. We really appreciate it. Officially today, we're supposed to start from Shin Pei Aleph Yud Aleph, but we did Shin Pei Aleph Yud Aleph in yesterday's video in order to complete and round out the simon. So today we're starting from Shin Pei Beis Aleph, and we're supposed to go to Shin Pei Beis Zayin. Aleph. Well, Shin Pei Beis. Din diras mitzvah ma'ake beirov. But non-Jew lives in native. What's the status? Aleph. Shana Chacham and Mishnah. Chacham said Adar Mechudi. Someone lives with non-Jew. The Chatzar and also doesn't forbid him from carrying. Achu Shnei B'Yisraelim B'Darim B'Shnei Batim Mosim Zelzeh. Unless there are two Jews living there and they ask from each other. Bir B'Gmar the Kachuinyan. This is what they said in Gemara. The Mikra Din Endi Yasakuti also. So according to strict law, a non-Jews dwelling in the area should not be that. Forbid the Jew from carrying. We're afraid that you might come to learn from your non-Jewish neighbors inappropriate behavior. Therefore, it's not only one person in the Chatzer, one Jew and one Goy. It didn't have to make a takana. It doesn't happen very often. Because you're afraid of the non-Jew, and he might come to steal from you. And this, of course, is censorship. But Mr. Brewer does not. It's not evident it was not censored, because Mr. Brewer says he's chashud ad shvichus damim. He's afraid he's going to murder you. I have a story about real life dad, but it's all right. So therefore, he's going to. But the Jew will not remain there. But if two Jews live in two houses, and this is prevalent. Since there are two of them, they're not afraid of the non-Jew. Therefore, said, you know what? Your Erev is not effective at all. Until you rent out the jurisdiction from the non-Jew. Meaning the jurisdiction he has in the yard, they should rent from him. Otherwise, Erev is meaningless. The only answer, again, when two Jews are living in the courtyard and they answer each other. But if they're all living in the same house, even though they're not going to, in such a case, they're not going to be concerned and they are going to live together in that arrangement. Nevertheless, what goes to make a example in these circumstances. Because this in itself is not prevalent. That two Ba'abatim are going to live in one room. And if they live in two rooms, it's very considered the same as two houses. Post themselves and they forbid each other. Sharat is not sure if it's specifically two houses or even two rooms. They do ask for each other. But according to Avram, it's clear that two rooms are like two houses. And the Gra as well, and evidently the Arukh HaShulchan as well. What advantages there that what the Chachamim gain that they should learn from the non-Jews' activities in order that they should leave for that courtyard. But the rent the rishus. So what effect did they have? So Gemara explains it's not going to be easy for a Jew to scare us. And I can tell you, it always raises suspicion. Because non-Jew is afraid there's some sort of sorcery going on here. Iron Shem is not going to want to rent out his jurisdiction to the Jew. Rashi gives another reason. The Zel shows what he says. This might learn from his activities. They made you have a loss that you have to pay money to rent. So it'll be difficult for you. In other words, you will not be happy paying every Shabbos. So and you're going to leave the area. Rabbeinu son shel Rivka Sabazel Loshen. He writes, "They shloim ma'aseh v'echmir v'tzchum she'yizkor me'em Yisrael." Who are not to learn from his deeds. They're not going to require the Jew to rent from them. And he won't do it. Won't want to do it. Because he's afraid of what was source. If Yomar says, "Belibo," he'll say in his heart, he would tell us, "Say slow chelkisha b'chotzer b'matana." He's going to say in his heart, I don't want the money. There's magic attached to the money. I'll give it to him for free. Being called saying nevertheless, Aina would tell Bo. It must be that even though I'll give one to him free, it must be that he doesn't want to carry in the yard. I just kill over policy sharputa unless I rent him for less than sharputa. Vadai l'kshavim miskavim less kilo. So it must be that if he wants, in other words, the very fact that it's a token amount, which normally is suggested, is going to raise the suspicion. I would give it to him for free. Why is he going to give me a shava pruta, even something minimal? Must be that he really wants to do some magic here. So he won't rent him. So he didn't say so. So the Jew will not want to live there because he won't be able to carry blame. And Master's not going to learn from his deeds. It seems that all these reasons contradict each other. So how to reconcile all of them? Gimel. Or it's not true. It's all the same principle. But when we understand, why should not you be concerned about the source? When you rent out something, that's normal commercial activity. Where's the potential shofim? It's like this. It's well known that this rental is done in a rickety way. The public shava pruta can use less than shava pruta. Much as we shall see. Akuti Odea, and non-Jew knows shepos shava pruta that less than shava pruta no nechshav moment its soul. By Jews not considered to be money. Because they nevertheless, and it's actually some rock with skirus. So Jew only wants rental. Below matar not as a gift. So the Jew doesn't want it as a gift. They should have came to chachami dafka skirus chachami made that corner. Simply you have to rent it out. Mishnah points out that if the non-Jew gives his rishus as a gift, doesn't work. But he does say that that's only by a matana ru'ah, a rickety gift, such as our rickety skewers. The fact that the non-Jew gave him a complete matana in writing, which would be work in a secular court, that would be sufficient. Okay, back to Arukh HaShulchan. Now, Akuti Levin Lamuke. Now just not going to understand what's going on here. Why does he want to take it as a gift? Let's show this anyway like a gift. Let me have suppose it's a total. Why does he want a gift? Right? Excuse Polish wants to give you some minimal amount. Let's show Bruta. Pierre Shakuti is ever Nigel is going to suspect and there's some sort of witchcraft going on here. Okay. The Nigel rents let's show Bruta is going to be afraid what's going on here. What about if he rents it for more than a pruta? Pruta of Yosef pruta. Aloha mi'atzal echoshik shavim. Non-Jew those circumstances should not be concerned about witchcraft. Zeb Rashi Elavaris. That's what Rashi comes to explain. The Zeik Sheba in Yisrael takes Schar Gomer Chol Shabbos and Shabbos. Yisrael doesn't want to pay a non-symbolic amount, which he has to do in order that he shouldn't fall into suspicion. Every Shabbos and Mili Yisrael Shabbos is going to leave. Klamar the Kutik Shira. Shows him most morning bad there. So we understood till now that's because the Jew doesn't want to pay that much. But no, he says differently. He says when the non-Jew says that they're giving him real money, but he's not going to do it for a long period because then he's giving up potential income. El Rako Shabbos Achos is only given for Shabbos at a time. Shabbos Aboy Bakishomos, so get more money next time. Mel Shekoshel Yisrael. So that's what's going to be difficult for the Jew. V'yetzim Misham is going to leave. And then there's like he says. Dal Yusham Isa Loch Yisrael Mavato. A Jew can nullify his rishus. He saw in the previous simon. Vakuti Maskir, a non-Jew can only rent his rishus. Porachan asked Loma Lo Yivato Kuti. Why can't the Kuti negate his non-Jew negate his rishus to the Jew? But the answer is Chashin Shem Yachsavo. Maybe he's going to renege on the deal. Because already saw my Jew after being a Vato Shus, he can renege on the deal. There's some people simon. Vakuti Vada Yachzor, and the non-Jew is for sure going to renege. And there's no true reliance on the non-Jew. But if you rent it from him, that seals the deal. You can't renege. The schir is kind of the schir is for that Shabbos. I rent it out for your Shabbos, or for longer, whatever it is. It's kind of. I ain't showing. He said the Choraya proof. Seems to be definite proof. Shita Sarashma Fed Shavi B'Chash Mishran based on Kup Sadik Dalet. That kind of Kuti kind of Karka B'Kesef. That this chirus is a key acquisition of the land for Shabbos, and so you see that Kenyan Kuti is kind of Karka B'Kesef. Right, the non-Jew acquires land with money. It seems the other way around here, though. The Jew acquires money from land from a non-Jew via money. I guess it's reflexive. There's no Kenyan for non-Jew by land, but only by documents. Like he wrote there. Then Hashem seems to explain that if it's a rental land, even the Rambam agrees that money suffices. We learn from the Yerushalmi that after the non-Jew rents it out, you can't renege. This will be explained later on. Back because he says, the Yerushalmi lives for Yakushasti Lon. There's no proof that the Yerushalmi doesn't have hold of our Shas's reason, Mishum Chashik Shafim, because of the issue of sorcery. The issue is feeling could be does hold that we're like the Bobby. So if that's why is it which asking why is the bit to work, we shouldn't bitul vada yachush to kshafim. We should encourage bitul because bitul for sure the non-Jew is going to be chashiv for kshafim. The Indian bitul ain't move on no cloud. This idea of negating which is not understood to him at all. So that's the question. Why don't we encourage this weird bitul transaction? But nevertheless, hey, gam bitul was just any more below students. It was just not written for work by non-Jew. You have to specifically rent. Like there are a lot of Jews living in the yard. Call Echon the base of by each one in his own house. They didn't make an Eruv. Oh, Shirva, they made an Eruv. And one of them forgot to participate. Of here for Kulam, they didn't participate. But they didn't rent out the area from the non-Jew. If all of them want to negate their Rishus to one of them, so now it should be like one Jew and one guy, which is Misla Shchich, should be permitted. Also, it doesn't work that way. Yeshua are those who say She'atam, the came in the Chaygam, the Shchich, the Daire, is because since there are a lot of Jews there, even though they combine together to one entity, so people will live that way over time. So therefore, we go back to the original concern, Shemal Yom Maisa, maybe you're going to learn from his deeds. Sometimes the Nidcha B'Gemara is extras. Mishum Bitul Shus LeEchad having Milsa Lo Shchil because of Rabbanan. Because Bitul Shus to one person would anyway be Milsa Lo Shchil and Rabbanan would not answer it. On the Matam, we rather the reasons like this. In Cain, the Shtakach Torah Seir. If we don't, we're going to forget the whole concept of Eruv if we don't make you have this Shchil Shus here. Gemara Shamu B'Kuti Shlo Etzol Askir, and that's the Gemara that's talking about a non-Jew didn't want to rent out his property. So we let you do it without the Shus. The whole idea of air will be forgotten. However, even non-Jew wanted to rent it out to the Jew. Only the Shabbos says to see there's some impediment why it didn't take place. Certainly, the Torah will not be forgotten. Next Shabbos is going to rent it out for him. Nevertheless, even in that case, Oslevato, non-Jew came in Vato Rishus to the Jew. The came in the Loya Misratz and Loya Moila Bitu. So since if he wasn't agreeable, the Bitu wouldn't work. And the Chalek made Misratza and Maratza. You don't make a distinction between if he is okay with it or not okay with it. Because Atu Tam Mirasa Tigrum Bitu. Are we going to trust what he says that it's going to make Bitu? It's just Mili Ba'alma. But if you rent it from him, and then you need bittul, you're going to not sure exactly what it says. You're going to need bittul. I guess the other people in the Chutz are going to do bittul. Okay, okay. Vav. Ain't schis abukuti adorim abachatzer echad. Boslav. It only requires schis by a non-Jew who lives in the same yard as you and asks on you. Or lives in another yard, but it's a railroad flat situation. The only way that anyone can get out is through the outer one. They also require schis. She's borrowed based on the principles which be explained. But they're 2 yards next to each other, and they're open to each other. Each has its own opening to the Shusarabim or to the main street. Then one of the Chatzeros, the non-Jew lives. In the other yard, the 2 Jews live. Over there, even though the non-Jews sometimes passes with their Chatzer. Nevertheless, came in the Inlo Drislas are regular Chrechi, since that's another way out, so it doesn't have to come this way. Ain't so schis don't require schis who machlisim would seem chatzazul. Derech HaPesach can take out and bring in from yard to yard through this Pesach. Derech HaChalonos through the windows. I feel kesh shatzor bais in which began Shabbos inside house. Bentzim is they don't have to rent from him anything. Lo Gaza was there Shem Liyamol Ma'is. I'm not concerned it might come from his deed. Came in the Shein Lam Derech HaChas because they're not going in and out in the same exit and egress. There's no one derech which everybody has to use together. Okay, so they're not so close to each other, so they're not concerned they're going to learn from each other. But when the yards are one behind the other, where these got to go out that way. The 2 yards one behind the other. We saw kuti darim b'pnimis, and a Jew and a non-Jew live in the inner one. We saw one Jew lives in the outer one. Or the Jew and the non-Jew living in the outer one. We saw Echad B'Pnimis is one Jew in the inner one. The inner one forbids the outer one from carrying. I just go until they rent the Rishus from the non-Jew. Because there is access for the 2 Jews and the Kuti and the non-Jew there. But the inner one is mutter by itself because it's what I want and logos of Rabbanan. But in the outer one, always another Jew and a non-Jew are going to walk there. If it's like 2 Jews, the kuti and a non-Jew 1 yard. One of non-Jews in the inner one, but he's by himself. Even though there's one guy, he's like multiple people. The outer ones, I just going to come until they do skiras makom. So they do they rent out the place. I go shana. But Kavanah means to say I feel him Yisrael. Feel him Yisrael who yachid bechitzon. And even the Jew is an individual in the outer one. Become oser. So. Feel him Yisrael who yachid bechitzon oser. Well, he's aser because the Jesus is the inner one. Came Pirish Rabbeinu Habisses Sifra Agano. In fact, he's by himself, doesn't do any good. So Gara Michatzer Ach Echad. There is one Chatzer. Time left Kliyam Yad Shirak Echad Yisrael. Because now everybody knows that there's only one Jew here. And therefore they'll be confused. Because they see all sorts of other people coming out, the other Jew and non-Jew. Chatzer Echad Yodim Yosef. It's one Chatzer would be theoretically better. Because everybody sees this situation. The situation, they're not sure what's going on. Okay, so therefore, they have to do skiras v'shus according to Rambam in this scenario. Next time we're going to see that Rashi doesn't necessarily